In this, I'm going to be talking about conjunctions. In English, there are conjunctions that join words or phrases together. ASL, we have our own conjunctions, and that's what I'm going to be focusing on. Specifically, one of them, which is called shoulder shifting. And it's exactly what it sounds like. It's shifting your shoulders. So in English, we have the words and, or, but. In ASL, we don't sign those words. Instead, we replace them with a shoulder shift. So we have an English sentence and it has any of those three words in it. When we change it to ASL, we replace that word with a shoulder shift. So, an example, my favorite colors are blue and green. Putting that in ASL, blue, green, my favorite color. Okay, so I put one color over here, one color over here, and then I came back to the center to sign the rest of the information. Some people start on their dominant side. I start on my non-dominant side, but I had them separated. Blue is over here, green is over here. And with shoulder shifting, some reminders, you don't switch hands. It's not blue, green, okay? It's blue, green, and then when I sign the rest of it, I straighten my shoulders out. You keep your signs forward. I didn't do blue, green, because it's hard to see. It's a shoulder shift. It's not a body shift. Blue, green. And you still stay inside of your signing space. Keep in mind, shoulder shift. So it's not a full body shift. It's not a computer chair shift. It's a shoulder shift. So it should be blue, green, and then back to the middle. Okay, it's a subtle shift. So some examples, I'm going to sign it and then talk about it. So ASL, so I did ASL, history, you go, and I had my eyebrows up, so it's a yes, no question. Are you going to ASL and history? Okay. The next one. So, yeah, next one. So I signed my paper and pencil. Where? Where are my paper and pencil? So I could do a yes, no question. I can do a WH question. Remember, eyebrows up for yes, no. WH, eyebrows down. Okay, I'm going to make them a little harder now. All right, this next one. So I signed middle and high school, residential school. And then remember this, it could be he, she, or they singular. So middle and high school, residential school, he, she, or they, go. So in English, they went to a residential school for middle school and high school, or any kind of combination of that. All right, the next one. So over here, I did psychology, my major, and counseling, my minor. It's really important that you know your vocab. All right, next one. Tuesday and Thursday, afternoon, class, you have. So putting that in English, you have class, Tuesday and Thursday afternoon. All right, next one. Gallaudet University, he, she, or they go and interpreting his, her, or their major. So he, she, or they go to Gallaudet University and their major is interpreting, or his major or her major. Remember, hand shape is important. Okay, and now I'm moving on to a specific example. So think through what this is. Well, actually, I'll give it to you instead. So if I say, are you deaf or hearing? Well, what kind of question is that? It doesn't have a question word in it, but if I ask you, are you deaf or hearing? You wouldn't say yes or no. You have to actually give a response. So it makes it a WH question. It's an open-ended question, meaning you have to give the answer. It's not yes, no. So are you deaf or hearing? We say that in English, but when we put it into ASL, we need to change it to make it a WH question. So when we put it into ASL, we have to think about which question word we would use. And thinking about that, okay, I have to pick this or this. Okay, I'm going to use which because you're picking this or this. So what it would look like, you deaf or hearing which. Okay, by doing which, I'm saying, are you this or this? Whereas an earlier example I gave, ASL, history, you go. That one, are you going to ASL and history? If I had added which, then you would have to choose. Okay? When you see which, that means you're making a choice. Okay, so the next few sentences and questions I'm going to do, after I sign each one, I recommend pausing the video to think about and figure out what it is I'm signing, and then I'll go through it. So it'll work on your comprehension. All right, here is the first one. So I signed write, he, she, or they like, but read, he, she, they don't like. So he, she, they likes to write, but they don't like to read. All right, next one. Deaf education, and then I did BA, which is bachelor's, and then MA, which is master's degree, I have. So I have a bachelor's and master's degree in deaf education. All right, next one. Science or math, you prefer which? So remember, if I signed your and then did this, it would be favorite. Your favorite which versus you prefer which. Which do you prefer, science or math? Or if you wanted to, in English, you could say, do you prefer science or math? All right, next one. Geography, I like, but history, and then I did kiss fist, meaning I love it. So I like geography, but I love history.